Okay. So today we have a 2-for-1 special, I'm calling it. Two former students, Adam Bragee and Alison McAuliffe Bragee, are both with us today. And so they are in different fields, but they kind of started in the same area as far as accounting in college. But I'm going to let them just share a little bit about their time in MHS, when you graduated, some things you were involved in, just so that everybody kind of gets an idea of where your roots are.
Go ahead.
So I graduated from Marion High School in 2012. At Marion, I was a Wildcat cheerleader all 4 years. I was involved in student council, Future Business Leaders of America, Tri-High Y, and other various organizations.
So Allison's the rock star of the relationship. I was involved in golf and basketball. I was involved in Future Business Leaders of America. And then all the other clubs and organizations I chose revolved around who had the best food. So it was normally whatever Hudge was involved with. So that's what I was involved with. Maniacs, yeah, absolutely. Marion Maniacs.
Oh, yes, the Maniacs. They kind of all originated about that era.
So it originated my freshman year. Andrew Bowlby was a senior. He was in my sister's class, and he started it. And then we really took off as Coach Martin took off with the team, and that was the start of the playoff run that's still going on.
Yes. Now, what year did you graduate, Adam?
2008.
2008. And you guys did not date in high school, right? I mean, this is...
I wasn't in high school.
Yes.
Thanks, Hudge. Thanks. Yeah. So as I was going out, she was coming in.
Yeah.
Yes. So I still try to take credit, that this is like an FBLA power couple. They were both chapter presidents, but I had nothing to do with it. But, nonetheless.
That's right.
I did double the membership of FBLA.
That's true.
I do. The first time I remember Adam Bragee was he was coming to the junior high for the club preview at the high school as part of FBLA. So you can get a little bit of credit.
Yeah, there you go. So there was maybe a glimmer then,
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yes. Good. Well, that's all I needed right there. So I'm good.
That's enough.
Well, if you wouldn't mind to share with our students kind of your career paths, what happened after you graduated, what did you study, and kind of how did you land where you are today?
Yeah, so I left Marion High School planning to study finance and dance at the University of Illinois in Champaign, and that quickly changed. I continued to love accounting and planned to switch my major to accounting in hopes to go into some field. At the time, I was planning to go into wealth management and more of a finance role, but after 4 years at the University of Illinois, I got a degree in accountancy and landed at KPMG after graduation. While I was at the University of Illinois, I had a few internships. So after freshman year, I interned with Northern Trust, which is a large bank in Chicago, kind of as a financial operations intern doing various tasks. It was kind of hard, as you would expect for a freshman intern to have very little experience. So there was a variety of tasks there. Sophomore year, I interned with Boeing here in St. Louis as a financial analyst, financial planning analyst, and did a lot of their forecasting for some of their defense contracts in St. Louis. And then after junior year, I interned with Edward Jones as a financial advisor intern here under the direction of a financial advisor based out of St. Louis. So I had a lot of different experiences while in college, again, planning to go the finance route, and then had a late change of heart senior year and decided to go Big Four route.
Which is where you are today.
Yeah, that's where I'm at today.
I studied accounting at SIU Carbondale, and I always knew I wanted to do accounting. I enjoyed it in high school. My dad's a CPA, so I knew I wanted to go into that world, but I also always wanted to be a lawyer or thought about becoming an attorney. So while I was in undergrad, I shadowed, if you will, or went and sat in on a couple law school classes and liked it. And just to make sure, I did do a busy season internship at KPMG, which kind of solidified my thoughts of wanting to go to law school. So I, in my senior year, started studying for the LSAT, and which is the entrance exam to go into law school, similar to like the GMAT for grad school or the MCAT for med school, and decided to take the LSAT and ended up at SIU Law, and I got my JD there and passed the bar, and I have been working in the Edwardsville, St. Louis metro area as a lawyer since.
That's awesome. I'm so proud of both of you. You know, I'm like just beaming here, whether you can see it or not. So as far as what you do outside of a global pandemic, what does a normal day in the life look like at your respective offices? You know, what would a day be for you? What are normal tasks you would do? What skills do you use? That kind of thing.
Well, today is April 15th, and it is the least climactic tax day I have yet been here. So that looks a little bit different in all that's going on.
Yes.
But I'm a senior tax associate with KPMG, one of the big four accounting firms here in St. Louis. So I've been with the firm 3.5 years. It'll be 4 years in October. And it's been crazy. They say that you learn a ton in Big Four accounting, and I now understand why. Typical day, so I do a lot of partnership tax compliance for operating partnerships. So any entity that, you know, manufactures a good or creates a software that is set up as a partnership. In addition, I do a lot of private equity partnership tax compliance work. And when I say tax compliance, I mean tax returns and allocations of income to the various partners who own the partnership, as well as a lot of consulting for those partnerships of, especially today with the recent passing of CARES, there's a lot of implications for and opportunities for partnerships in the tax space. So I work with a lot of different people, a lot of different teams. Everything I do, I would say, is a team-based engagement. So all my clients, I have associates who work underneath me, and then as well managers and partners who kind of lead those clients and engagements. But the people make it the best part, and we got through a busy season. So
I appreciate you taking time today of all days. I mean, even though it's not the same, it's still like
it was weird.
It's April 15th, you know. Yeah. And I even hesitated contacting you because I was like, if it's too busy right now, you know, I understand.
Yeah, it's been different. We get a lot of our stuff out like by April 1st. So sometimes the last couple of weeks is just wrapping up things, especially if you're not on any audits. But again, it's a lot of stuff's not due till July now, so
oh.
It's a little different.
So my day-to-day changes. And being a lawyer, you can choose a million different fields. You can be a business lawyer, you can be a family law lawyer, you can be an elder law lawyer, you can be a personal injury lawyer, which is what I am. Originally, with my background in accounting, I wanted to do elder law and estate planning, which I got a little bit of while I was at SIU Carbondale. I did the elder law clinic, which provided free legal assistance to the southern 13 most counties in Illinois. And I really liked it, but my first job exposed me to litigation. And there's two sides of personal injury. One is for the plaintiff and one is for the insurance company or the defendants. I represent the injured parties, so the people who are hurt. And as you can imagine, every day is different. There could be a day where I get a phone call and a client comes in and I sign them up. There's days where I don't go to the office at all, where I'm in court or taking depositions. There's days where I don't put down the phone because, you know, you have clients calling, and there are days where people just have issues come up that need to be dealt with right now. So my days vary all the time. Sometimes I'm in court every day of a week. Some days I'm not in court for weeks at a time. So it's kind of a random answer, but that is the truth. Every day is different for me.
So for both of you, communication skills are so important.
Oh, you know. That is my job, really, is communicating and managing people. So in the injury world, Warren Buffett can get hit by a car, and a guy who has no education or nothing to his name can get hit by a car. So especially in my field, you have to know how to talk to and relate to everybody in every situation. So my communication, both written and verbal, is really what my job is.
I think in accounting, and I'm sure in law, you're right. There's a lot of times we have to take very technical information, tax code or a legal code, and break it down and explain it in a way that anybody could understand. So yeah, that's a very important skill to have. And as far as what obviously you're going to use analytical skills, you're going to use your communication skills. What do you think as far as book work and studying? What are those skills that really transferred in that were helpful for you in your work now? Because I know a lot of it is when you hit the ground and start working, you learn. Like you said, Allison, there's a lot just by doing. But what were the most valuable things that you took away from your educational experiences?
I think prioritization is a big one. In both of our fields, your day can be bombarded with a million different things, a million different clients, and each of the people you're working for or with needing something completely different at different times. And they think their task might be the most important and need to be the top of your priority list. Obviously, there's only one of you and only so much time in the day. And I think while in high school with various activities going on and your schoolwork as well, but also in college where that gets a little bit harder because you don't have, your family and friends around, helping you through it. You really had to figure out how to prioritize, one, what was important to you, and two, what was going to go the furthest or how you were going to make it all work. And if you needed to maybe change your priorities or tell somebody, raise your hand and say, this isn't going to work. I think I see that a lot in my profession of just understanding how I have to prioritize and have time management to be sure I can get everything done.
That's a great answer because it's one of the things I honestly struggle with the most. I am a task list guy. I am an email calendar reminder guy because if I don't, I'll lose track. That is a skill set she has, as she will tell you, and it's a skill set that I struggle with. I'm going to kind of give you a different answer. I would say networking. It's a skill that transferred from high school to college and now to what I'm doing in the law. In college, it was networking in different clubs, networking with different professors, trying to get internships, meeting people. My law school classmates have been a great referral source for me because, like I said, there's different areas for everything. So the people that you learn with and are in the trenches with can be the people you can benefit from the most and that you can help them as well. Now, since I'm on the plaintiff side, we have to go get our cases. So defense lawyers usually represent like a State Farm. Well, State Farm gets a call. They get 50 calls a day of their insureds getting hit or hitting someone. For us, we have to go out and network and get the cases. So networking for me was a skill that transferred even from high school and then into college and now into my professional life. But that is one skill and one area that I say is very important to focus on.
I would say, knowing both of you in high school, you've hit on the things that were your strengths even then. I mean,
he's the talker.
Adam was the networker for sure. And Alison always was super organized. I mean, I remember talking to her like probably as a freshman and saying, "You're going to be president. Like you're going to be state president. You're so organized and but those strengths, I think, are what set people apart in your professions as well.
Sure.
Those are the people that advance. Would you not agree? Like those are the skill sets that help people move forward.
It's so funny because, I'm going through like interim review process at work now, and Adam just went through his not too long ago. And so often you hear that, technical skills come with time. Everybody, we don't expect you to know every single thing when you come into a profession only being in, 4 or 5 years. And I think oftentimes that people forget that they aren't expected to know everything, and instead they need to rely on the networking skills, the communication skills, their organizational skills, those things that are actually more difficult for a lot of people to do, rather than, focusing on technical skills that come with experience and time. And we forget that too.
That's a very good point. For some people, it is more natural, but then others need to really start developing that, and that's something they can start developing while they're in high school.
For sure.
And working on. So that being said, kind of as our last question here, what do you think are the important things for high school students to know? If you could travel back in time.
Which I would, by the way.
Well, I want to know what you would do, but I also want to know like what you would tell yourself or what advice you would give to students who are 16, 17, 18 years old right now in high school.
You go first. No.
I would just go back and do it all over again because I loved it. I am a Marion homer. It really is the hub of the universe. But I tell everybody this, our high school, Marion High School, is a blessing. And the opportunities that those kids have and the opportunities that we had set us apart. The business classes that we had access to, it was invaluable. So I took accounting 1, I took accounting 2, I took marketing, I took econ, I took business law. I took all of those classes for a number of reasons. 1, I knew I wanted to study business in college, but 2, I didn't know what area of business I wanted to focus in on. And it was a great opportunity to get a taste of all of it. And if you do business, you're going to take those classes when you get to college. So it was a good preview, a good base knowledge of understanding of the materials, and a way to get a head start on everybody else, because I don't know many high schools that had that curriculum. And it was a great advantage that I really took part of. I would also say to get involved with Johnny Logan. When I was a senior, I took classes at MHS for Johnny Logan to get some of my general studies over with. And it saved me a lot of tuition dollars. It's a great program that MHS has gotten in contact with through Johnny Logan, and it was an opportunity that I took advantage of. But those are things that kids can take and really get a leg up on everyone else.
That's great. That's really good to hear.
I think for me, there's so much pressure that, you have to have it all figured out of what you're going to do and what you're going to study and where you're going to be in high school. And I think kids need to remember that students need to remember that that's not what has to happen. I think it's important to figure out what's important to you, what you like. And to Adam's point, take classes to see if you like it, whether it's auto or business, or maybe take the AP chemistry class to see if, if that's what you want to do. All the opportunities that you have, take advantage of what's available, because that's going to help you determine what you like, what you don't like. And same thing once you have decided and get to college or whatever your after graduation plans are. Remember what's important to you, where you came from, and really, really cherish the moments and the opportunities and the experiences you've had while in high school, because they do shape who you are and what you might become.
Those are awesome answers. I do tell students, take the variety of classes while you're here. They're free. It hurts me when I see students head off to college and their parents are paying $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a semester, and they get there and then they figure out, and they do generals maybe for a couple of years, and then they get into their major and they're like, well, no, this is not, I don't like this. There's so many opportunities to job shadow and at least get a taste, to see if it's what you like, and it's free. So
I do want to echo something she said, because it needs to be, you need to hit home with this. I would take a variety of classes, not just business classes, because when I was there, I took auto 1, I took auto 2. I think people get so focused and one track minded. There is home ec, and that it's there for a reason. I mean, I ripped a pocket in a pair of pants yesterday. One of the sweatpants I've been wearing for a month straight in quarantine. And Allison's going to sew them back because she took home back. And it's just, it's something that you need to have life skills, because you're going to run across people from every aspect of life, and you need to be able to know how to relate to them, and just taking advantage of everything MHS has to offer as far as that curriculum. It needs to be done.
I concur. I agree with you all. I cannot thank you enough. I truly appreciate you taking time out of your COVID-19 distancing, social distancing, quarantining, to do this for me. This is going to be some fresh content for my students that I can share with them, and honestly share with parents and community members too. Everybody loves seeing our hometown heroes out doing their thing. So this is going to be a bit of good news for everybody. So
We're honored.
Yeah, thank you for asking us.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.